What's going on, everybody? ATO Outsider here with the Wakanda Alliance, bringing you an update and like a conversation about what's going on in my head about this next issue, the final issue of the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda. The build-up has been crazy. We've been reading it in our workshop program. Kids are loving it. We're having wonderful conversations that go outside of just the realm of just Black Panther and go into how people feel about their families and being black in America and being black in the world and what that identity is, what it means to be black, or however people identify. So we've had some great conversations about it, and so the final issue is coming out technically on Wednesday the 26th this week. But I know some comic shops do the 25th, or will do a day early, so I'm trying to get this video out right before that. So let's talk about it. A lot of people have been concerned about this run, right? A lot of people don't always agree with what Ta-Nahesi Coates is doing as far as the characterization of Wakanda, and within their rights, you know, especially longtime Black Panther fans have seen T'Challa and all the other characters in Wakanda take different shapes, but it was anybody else in the world, therefore they can't be like anybody else in the world, and therefore Wakanda is special in that, and they handle problems differently. So the last, I want to say 5 years since Coates came on to write in the Black Panther, starting with the Nation Under Our Feet, it seemed like the idea was to get Wakanda to seem, not to seem like every other country, but to show that Wakanda has its flaws too, right? They've been leading the world for millennia in technology and culture. So to show that this big force, this unique utopian society can still have its flaws too, it's a topic, right? It's a topic because no matter how great you might look at somebody and think that, oh, they're just the greatest, they can do no wrong, they might actually have some things that they've been fighting in their life. And so to create that humanism, I think that's what the point of Ta-Nahesi Coates coming on, and what either he saw or what the producers or whoever was part of the development of Wakanda for the last few years, I think that's what they wanted to see, right? You had the Midnight Angels, who were the original Doras, who didn't like the way they're being treated, who wanted to have more freedom. And even though T'Challa was the one to say, hey, yes, the Dora are no longer wives in training, the Doras are just going to be a dedicated force of women to help me fight and help defend Wakanda, that wasn't enough for them. So of course there was some discord, right? Some political discord, and then of course Black Panther, T'Challa going out of the nation of Wakanda to fight with the Avengers and help them with their problems. Wakandans felt left out. They felt like when you're that older sibling and the newer sibling comes along, that's kind of how they felt, right? Because Black Panther's supposed to be the king of Wakanda and protect Wakanda and be with Wakanda no matter what. So T'Challa has had a lot of struggles, and frankly, I'm ready for another Black Panther to come in and take the load off of his shoulders, because man, T'Challa has been through it. I would love to see, you know what? I would love to see him start a family. All right, I really want them to do that next generation of superheroes, and we're kind of getting that, right? We got Sam Wilson coming as Captain America. He's been doing that for a while. The mantle's been passed around for all the characters, really. Thor, Iron Man, and Ironheart. All these different characters have had like their next up come, right? And I think it's that time. We'll see what happens, right? But back to the Intergalactic Empire. Galactic Empire, they showed that theme of slavery again came up, and a lot of people were kind of torn with it because they were already saying, hey, you already did this, the original Wakandan thing, like the original Wakandan monsters. People weren't too fond of that. I personally wasn't that fond of it either, but they still have that thing going on. So a lot of people thought that because they're going with that whole slave thing and Wakanda becoming an evil empire, again, you're tearing down. Totally understand making a nation seem like it has its flaws, but the fight through those flaws, I think, is what makes a great story. I think that's been able to be portrayed well. But I think we're over that now. I think we've been through it. I think Wakandas within the comic have kind of seen their follies and their falters. So now it's time for them to realize, okay, well, let's get back to what we're doing, right? Let's become that international superpower and really set an example for the world. So I think that's what's going to happen with this whole Intergalactic Empire thing. So instead of becoming an international superpower, now Wakanda could be an interdimensional superpower, right? I did mention a few videos ago about how I didn't want the Intergalactic Empire to be closed off from the 616 universe. I didn't want all these characters and all these relationships that T'Challa has built. I didn't want that whole universe to go away because there's so much potential there. You could keep writing stories about the Intergalactic Empire. Like, now that the 5 galaxies are now awakened, right? Their memories are free. That's a world that you can. That's a whole universe you could do stories off of. That's like a whole other comic universe you could do stories with. And I know there's other universes within Marvel. They always do this interdimensional travel thing. But I think with this, Wakanda deserves to be an interdimensional superpower. I'm gonna say it right here. This is me, Ace, saying it on May 24th, 2021. Wakanda is going to be the interdimensional superpower. And that comes with a whole lot of great things, right? So now whenever like Wakanda is in trouble, they're not alone anymore, right? Even though nobody on Earth can really take them down, even though they've had like a couple battles, they're still standing. I think that now that they got the Intergalactic Empire, which is 5 galaxies big, all right, that's 5 galaxies. That's Star Wars times 5. That's what they're working with right now. So they got all that technology coming in, and they have an open connection, right? I'm hoping they don't do like a limited connection where it's like, oh, well, this is the end, goodbye forever, because I don't want any of that, okay? I want them to have an open connection to this other dimension. And that's going to be dope, because at any time, in case Wakanda's in trouble, they got some backup. And it's like, they've got 5 galaxies worth. So somebody within those 5 galaxies can spare some time to help out Wakanda Prime, where it all started, right? I think that connection is dope too. How do the other interdimensional Wakandans feel about Wakanda Prime? I think there's a lot of paths that you can connect and stories to tell there. And yeah, and in case the rest of the 616 universe gets in trouble, which they always do, with Black Panther, T'Challa always got to come in there and try to fix some things up. Now, Wakanda can just, Black Panther can just hit that button and be like, I bet. Oh, y'all got this going on? Y'all trying to invade Earth? I bet. Hey, yo, like, get M'Baku on the phone and just have them come through the portals and just shut things down. I think that's an awesome concept. And I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen in the future. There's going to be some type of world-breaking event, some type of cosmic event, and T'Challa's going to be the one to call in the interdimensional Wakanda. So I'm guessing that's what's going to happen. And also, it just makes sense, right? Because Wakandans are this African nation. They've always had a connection with another plane of existence, right? With their ancestors and the Djalia and how important that is. So for them to it just makes sense, right? They've always seen another side, another dimension as a benefit, as opposed to other cultures who might see another dimension as a threat. You know, that's the way the rest of the world works, and that's what sets Wakanda apart from, you know, especially those Western cultures. So I think that it makes sense that they have another dimension that can help them out and assist them, not just so they can defend themselves, but also assist them as people and as a nation. That is a super powerful thought and so much potential for growth, man. I love it. And really, I'm just spitballing here. Like, these are just things I was thinking about because we're coming to the close of it. And in the new preview for the continuation of the series, which will be done by John Ridley, if you look under, you know, T'Challa's figure, you'll see that those ships from the Intergalactic Empire are flying underneath him. So therefore, I think that's hinting towards that, you know, that dimension isn't going anywhere. It's still going to be current and run alongside the way that works, right? So Bast left Wakanda Prime in favor of N'Jaka, and that worked out kind of crazy. I want them to kind of explain that a little bit more. But you know, she's gonna be looking for a new herald if Killmonger is defeated. So I think that if she goes back to seeing what T'Challa as her champion, which she kind of already did, now she has a champion that can work in both universes. And that's just like the weird way that those gods work. They kind of go to who's in favor, who can build them the biggest following and all that stuff. I think that now that's her incentive, right? Because now that she's got her power back, her power got taken too by N'Jaka, Emperor N'Jaka. So T'Challa was part of. She's gonna owe the man, so she might as well make him the champion again, right? And have him rule Wakanda Prime, but also by some extension have a connection to her followers in that other dimension. So I don't know what they're gonna call this dimension. Maybe the Wakandaverse. That's what makes the most sense to me. Just call it the Wakandaverse. So I think that Bast is going to be able to get a lot more powerful if she has all those followers behind her, as for the rest of the Orisha as well. So you can't get rid of this, man. Y'all can't. Oh man, y'all cannot let this Wakandaverse slip, y'all. I'm telling you, Marvel, y'all bet not. All right. Yeah, so I'm super excited for that. So those are just some thoughts that I've had over the past few weeks, interpreting what could happen with the next Black Panther series. There's also a theory that, you know, they're going to introduce the Intergalactic Empire to the MCU. So with the series coming up, maybe it won't be for another few years, just so you don't rapidly just expand Wakanda out of, you know, just out of nowhere and make it seem like it's a bit rushed, because Wakanda itself, as this nation in the 616, has already had like a great presence there. You don't need to mess with that too much. But if the next threat in the MCU is going to be like an interdimensional traveler of some sort, then I think they might have some room to wobble there. So they might have some room to introduce the Wakandaverse. So that's just some pitches. I don't know what can happen, man. They've already did the time travel thing because of Thanos and all that. So I think that interdimensional is the next thing that the MCU is going to be going for. But until we get there, this is what I think about the Intergalactic Empire and where I think the direction of Black Panther should go. If you have any comments, leave them comments in the chat, man. If you want to get on the Wakanda Alliance with us, let us know. We're starting an email list, so we'll be sending out the emails and newsletters to keep people engaged. Every second and fourth Saturday, okay? Every second and fourth Saturday, we do the Wakanda Alliance program. You can tune in virtually. Just look for the link in our bio on Instagram or on Facebook. You can join the Facebook event. The Zoom room's typically the same, so if you go to our webpage, you'll see the link there. And join us, man. It's always a great time. We could even, you know, go into other conversations about what we think Black Panther's going to do.